Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to another live stream of Hearthstone. Today is Saturday, September 2nd. We started a little late, but in all honesty, it's not going to require too much here to do. All I need to do is play 50 hunter class cards, and in an interesting way, I think I can do that if I play this hunter deck, which is a hunter deck that was told that I looked up to beat the Lich King. We have a new person on the chat. He's brand new to Hearthstone. He's asking for my user. It's RYDO number 1423. The number is also in the description at the bottom. Tactic Torn wants to play. Well, sure, why not? And I'll go ahead. Tactic Torn has me on a standard thing, so let's try this new custom druid while we're going.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
So this is a deck that Kevin Wu gave me to try and ranked play, and so I haven't played it. Let's see how it works. It's a pirate druid. Kevin Wu says, oh, we could switch to wild. YouTube, Red Phoenix says YouTube is messed up. It says this video has 1 view. YouTube is always messed up. I don't worry about it. You know, like, in all honesty, If I start worrying about YouTube, then I just become one of those YouTubers that's always talking about the adpocalypse, how I'm being demonetized, how the DMCA is happening. And I talk about that quite a lot already, but you know what? I just want to make good content. If I starve to death in the street 5 years from now because YouTube never pays me, at the very least I want my content that's still on YouTube to look good. It's a silly thing to say, but it's kind of how I feel. Like, I don't want to worry about YouTube being stupid that much. They are. We know. Everybody knows. I guess I could have used my hero power. Swap the attack and health of a minion. Can I get the vicious fledgling where I need him to be?
For the wild.
Give your minions +1/+1. What am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to be buffing like the vicious fledgling, or just everybody, or what's the strategy behind this, Kevin Wu? Kevin Wu is also playing basically the same deck, so over a large sample size he should beat me, particularly since he has quite a couple more cards than I do. Swap the attack and see, this just moves them back and forth. Right, it doesn't. It wouldn't make this an 8/8 and that a 2/2. That's something else. That's a different card. The swarm the board, says Kevin. Buff the board and play Hydra later in the game. That 8/8 minion, and refill your board with living mana. So it's kind of a rush deck. Alright. Poisonous, stealth until your next turn. we'll take that. And then we'll do this. And I guess I should just get rid of this guy that way. Well, the Hydra certainly has helped me win here. That's a lot of damage you've managed to take with the Hydra. But he's got a bunch of people on the board that buff. So if he could get Wind Fury and attack again, they would have done 4 more damage. Let's see. But all I need to do is get Wind Fury. This. Could have done stealth till the next turn. And this. Okay, that looks like that'll work. So let's go back and name that deck. So we know what it is. And then I wanted to show off just I wanted to do one Lich King thing here. Dim Skills is either not at the point where he can friend me. So I'm gonna decline this for a second, Kevin, so I can hit done and name it. Actually, I'm gonna decline it so I can try to do this daily quest. I guess I can play him that way. So I prefer Wild if you can play Wild in general. If people want to send me friend requests, yeah, he hasn't sent me the other things. So Dim Skills is new. He probably doesn't even know how to friend people. It's not like the game makes it super easy. And this is the Hunter deck that's supposed to help you defeat the Lich King, although it is a budget defeat the Lich King deck, and so you have to get really lucky. And when you're fighting the Lich King with the Hunter, he does damage, like 2 damage for every minion in your deck, and so you take a bunch of damage, and he's at 30 armor, 30 health, and so you just have to use the start scavenging hyena and get really lucky. Pretty much have to have an alley cat to start with. And I also have a daily quest right now too. And you just kind of have weapons that spells that do damage. Lich King doesn't really play Doomsayer. Let's see. Deal 3 damage, 5 damage. Can I do this? Let's see if this works. Deal 1, summon a Mastiff. Nope, I don't have enough mana, so play Tracking instead. I will take that. You kind of need to get lucky with at least one Vicious Fledgling. This probably isn't the greatest. Kevin Wu asks, why quick shot the Doomsayer? Because I can't count. Literally is the reason. I miscounted and thought that perhaps I could kill the Doomsayer if I was able to use both of these on the hunt cards and do damage, but I was 1 mana short. Trying to maintain characters on the board for Scavenging Hyena. And this deck is built around the turn 7 win, because on the Lich King, if you don't have a turn 7 win, you're not gonna win. He brings out the frozen souls and he becomes immune. Let's see. I guess I'll take this. Play this. Not really the best time to play this, but whatever. But at this point, turn 7 for the opponent, when beating the Lich King, I would have needed to gotten him down by 60 points. And you can see in this example, 17 points of damage. So I've tried many times, and I'm spending a lot of extra time trying to get the Lich King done, but now I've got 2 extra things I need to do. I need to play rank to try to get back up to rank 13. I didn't really feel like I was rewarded very well for getting rank 13. I got the card back, I got maybe 40 dust, and 2 golden cards that then turned into some other dust. Let's see.
I can't do that. This beast will not be tamed.
Deal 3 damage. I'll deal 5 damage. And the hunter still has 3 levels to get up till it's level 60. And that did about 12. So it's going to take several attempts to play all of the hunter cards. But will I get the hunter cards done? See, I have hunter, paladin, warlock, mage, and priest to do. I'm up to 4 done.
Look at your hand, champion. Look at what you've become.
But
are we really so different?
There's really a lot of just resetting. Just come over here, restart over and over again.
Let the hunt begin.
You always go first so you don't have a coin.
Mercy on the likes of you.
And you kind of, every single card that does damage you need to put in here. Red Phoenix says I'm still here, by the way. Thank you.
Job done. Lonely hunter, strip away your little friend.
It would be really
What
nice
is left to oppose me?
to beat the Lich King right now on the first try, but it won't. I don't think it'll happen. So you immediately take 16 damage. He has 60 health effectively. And this is all around buffing Scavenging Hyena, getting Vicious Fledgling, adapting Scavenging Hyena so he has Wind Fury.
No card can forestall my inevitable triumph.
Let's see. And just random minion destroyed, control, attack. Gotta play so carefully.
Is inevitable, and
I would have liked this
no
guy to be
can
on the field,
express
get Wind
your
Fury.
shame.
I have 4 more turns to win. Let's see. This and tracking. Summon the beast.
Job's done.
The dark path is my destiny.
Down the 10. Right. We can do this to adapt this to give it Wind Fury. We can play this and attack here and can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Attack here. Attack here. In return. And see, he knows what you're trying to do, so he'll find a way to destroy you, certainly. 2 more turns. This. Kill command. Don't really even need this, but whatever. You want your hand to be empty when you play this, so you can draw another card.
The dark path is my destiny.
And this is a budget hunter deck, so if anybody knows of a better hunter deck, I'd be willing to try it. Because I'm not 100% budget free to play. I mean, I have slightly more cards than that. Could have used this card a while ago. And I got about halfway there. 7th turn happens, he plays Frostmourne, he attacks my face. Game over. We'll just see it. I want to see it play through anyways, just to make sure the cards I'm playing actually count to the daily quest. Of playing hunter cards.
Join me.
It was a PC Gamer article. I think you should be restarting more often. Yes, I do too, but I did not see a notification that said I played those hunter cards. Yeah, it didn't count. It didn't count any of the hunter cards. So, okay. Need pretty specific opener to win. Yep, that is certainly true. Wild hunter deck. I guess we'll play here. Trying to get up on ranked in Wild doesn't really seem like something I'm gonna ever accomplish, but it will get me ranked wins if I actually win, and I would like to be just over with the 500 ranked wins for everything, so that everything's gold and they never have any more gold. I bet by the time I get all 9 of my characters to gold with 500 ranked wins, they'll add something for 1,000 ranked wins that makes it platinum, just to keep the players playing. I'm not even sure this is particularly a good deck for real play. It's full of hunter cards, and I'm short on slots, so I don't want to destroy this deck just to go make a different deck. I'm playing against a mage. Almost certainly they're gonna just kill one of these things. Summon a random beast companion. I wish they would explain which cards those are. I think I have a general idea. Red Phoenix says my internet just crashed. Seems to happen a lot for Red Phoenix. Sorry about that. Want to play again after this game, says Kevin Wu? Sure. They were talking. I saw a video talking about how when the last time they had floods in Sandy, they replaced a lot of the copper network connections, the backbone of the network, with fiber optic, and that was in Sandy, so that was in like the United States East Coast, not Houston. But what has happened in the meantime is everybody's gone to fiber optics, and what will happen with fiber optics when they're touched by water is they'll grow mold, and the mold will actually just split the fiber optics apart and kind of ruin it. So
Bear arms.
I had one short again. Man, I need to learn the count before I play. So unlike Sandy, where the copper wire, they could take thermal imaging and see anywhere where the copper wire was shorting out because of water, because it was hotter. Fiber optics, there's really no way to do that. So what people are going to have to make a decision about, as far as the backbone in Houston and for all the major networking, is they're either going to have to decide to just completely abandon their facilities, or flip a coin and decide whether they want to gamble with fiber optics that are just going to go down. Red Phoenix says, I have a good computer but a terrible internet. That's pretty much how it always goes. I have a great computer but my internet's ruining it. That's exactly my situation too. Yeah, I saw a video of somebody doing a speed test in California, and they have much better internet. They had like 100 megabits down, but it was also a corporate internet too, and 70 megabits per second up, where I barely have 5 megabits per second up as an option.
This beast will not be tamed.
That would be one of the number one things I would do if my channel paid for itself and I could afford it. I would definitely invest on trying to get better internet, and to the point where I'd probably have 2 internet service providers and see if I can get them to work together, or maybe just have one that is specifically built around well, this isn't going to do anything, so I'll just do that.
Job's done.
Red Phoenix says he's saving up for a Nintendo Switch and a 10 terabyte drive. Which should I get first? I'm not sure I'm a trustworthy source on spending money, but I would go with the 10 terabyte drive. The one that sounds more entertaining is probably always the wrong choice. In the end, Red Phoenix is for everybody's knowledge, he's programming his bot, which he's putting a lot of effort into. So when you calculate that he's spending many man hours putting work into something, and he needs a safe backup so he doesn't lose those many man hours. I would suspect if Red Phoenix paid imaginarily paid himself even minimum wage on the man hours he's put into his chatbot, he would probably see that it is worth a lot more than the value of a Switch. When you talk about the Nintendo Switch, I have a bit of a bias because Nintendo treats YouTubers badly. They claim to own one of my videos, which was the Ubisoft press conference, and that's not fair use. That's Nintendo of Japan that claimed that, and it's ridiculous. They treat all YouTubers badly and rip them off, and they don't value fair use at all. But so there's a little bit of bias there, but also the Nintendo Switch is just now starting to announce some interesting games. It's not quite to the point where you should buy it. If you know in your heart that you're going to eventually have a Switch, get it, I would say, 2 or 3 years from now, when you could get Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey very cheaply, and whatever other games. There's the new Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, and which probably means the other No More Heroes games are coming out. There's Bayonetta that's going to come out for that. The Splatoon game is an online competitive game, but that audience is going to start dying if it hasn't already. And that's kind of the only game I would think that even has any reason to play it. You shouldn't get a Switch if you want to play Skyrim once again. You shouldn't get a Switch to play something like ARMS, which is probably a decent game, but it's not a system seller. The Switch really doesn't have any system sellers. Much kind of like WB, I'd kind of prefer if Nintendo just went out of business and their IP went to other companies. Imagine if Shigeru Miyamoto, the person who makes the Mario games, was working for Microsoft, and he was making Mario games for the Xbox and the PC. Or more likely, he would be working for Sony just because of an inherent bias there. It would be easier for Shigeru Miyamoto to move into the Sony Japanese office than the non-existent Microsoft Japanese office. So yeah, even at that, like if Mario games were on the PS4, the PlayStation would have a lot more going to it, and if it got to PC, that would be great. Let's not forget that Nintendo is doing very bad stewardship for Metroid. They don't really do the old school Metroid games that well. They don't do the Metroid Prime games that well.
By my frozen heart.
They haven't really done anything with Donkey Kong in a couple decades. Kevin Wu asked,
Are you afraid?
I guess I could go on a longer rant against Nintendo, but there's a lot of bad things that they've done, or just poor handling of business that they've just aren't. It's easy to forgive and forget with Nintendo because there's a lot of nostalgia there that I had too, and I've overcome. Kevin Wu asked how old I am. I'm not comfortable telling an exact age, but I'm old. I'm well out of high school and college age, so let's go ahead and squelch this character while he lets me play the last few cards. I'm older than you would think. So I'm not as old as the previous first generation of video games. So I didn't experience Atari or anything like that. I did experience the Nintendo Entertainment System. But I did the Nintendo Entertainment System. I sort of didn't do the Super NES. I've just managed to miss that one. Did the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the what else did I do? GameCube, Wii, and then Xbox 360, and then I missed Xbox One, and I missed the Sega Dreamcast and all the Sega systems because I was just obsessed with Nintendo. Although I did play on a few rare occasions Sega games and then all of that. Looking back, my opinion today is that I often, when I was younger, acted older than my age, and now that I'm older, I kind of am trying to act a little bit younger than my age in a weird way. Kevin Wu, I'll play. Send me a challenge when I'm not playing, and I'll play you, certainly. Unless I've managed to do all the daily quests. I'll still play you one time if I've even done the whole daily quest, but I still do want to go over to the European things. I also need to double check and make sure I haven't... what did I need to double check? Yeah, I need to make sure there isn't a tavern brawl. Yeah. There really is a really long list of things Nintendo has done people have forgotten. Nintendo also majorly sold to kids and was sleazy about it.
I'm out of cards.
That's the, like, little... Remember when Pokemon came out? It's like, gotta catch them all kinds of toys and marketing. It was all Pokemon. Like, half of a Toys R Us was full of Pokemon stuff. And that cost parents a lot of money that could afford it, and it probably alienated a lot of poor kids that couldn't afford those things. How many more? We still need 11. Red Phoenix says, I got a better job, so that means more money, less time to code my bot, and less time to watch your streams, but it will force me to sleep more. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. That sounds great. Like, the last thing I want people to do is suffer in their life to watch my channel. I want my channel to be an improvement to society, and streams stay up, so I'm not deleting them. If you come back 10 years from now and watch the streams if you want to, that's fine by me. I'll miss you, but that's alright. Getting a better job is always a risky thing, though. People tend to be optimists to a fault, and they don't save that money. And pretty much, in my experience, every single time I've gotten a new job, I've wanted to save more of that money because that job eventually ends. Like, there's two ways jobs can end. Either you die working it, or you don't work there anymore. Either because you retired, or because you quit, or you were fired. So I would heavily recommend anybody getting a new job to save as much as possible. I would say in Red Phoenix's case, he should get the hard drive. If you've got a new job and it means you have less time, then that's just more of an argument not to get a Switch, because you're just going to be disappointed in the fact that you don't have time to play it. But maybe there's other arguments, like the job is going to have you commute a lot, so you're going to be on a bus or a train, and that's going to give you extra time to play Switch. But getting a new job and spending a lot of money and not saving it is a mistake. It's kind of like when you buy a new house, people often will buy a bunch of furniture right when they get that new house, and then all of a sudden their air conditioner breaks and they can't afford to fix the air conditioner. Houses have expenses. New jobs often have unforeseen expenses. I have no idea why I did that. Why didn't I attack with that? I'm just talking. I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. That's why I did it. Maybe Red Phoenix will become a millionaire one day, and he'll send me a few $1,000s to show his support. Right now, there really is no way to support my channel. The best thing I can figure, if people want to support me, I don't even know if I'm gonna enable Super Chat when I could. I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and I'm barely at 200 now. I think the best way would be for people just to gift games on Steam to me. That would inherently reduce money I'm already spending every year, and give me less of an excuse to not play games. That's kind of all there is, though. Like, eventually, if I have enough fans and if there's enough demand, I'd do like a Patreon or something. But mostly this is just free content, and it's just always going to be free content, except for the ad revenue, which is growing slowly, but not really any realistic amount. It's about $2 every rolling 7 days now, which is ridiculous. I need to get like 10,000 plus views on every single video I put out to get a realistic amount of income. Speaking of working, I'm working on the Halloween pre-recorded videos, and I have made that final determination. It felt like it was going to happen, but I've determined that I'm going to, at the end of October, stop doing my kids' my early 2 o'clock Central Time slot, which was kids games. After October and Costume Quest 2, I'm gonna stop that slot. Spending extra money on spending extra time on Hearthstone has taken a lot of time for me to record pre-recorded things, and also trying to get up in ranked has taken a lot of time, and also the fact is I've just been very lazy and unrealistic on how much time I can actually spend. So I've been way too ambitious, trying to do 5 episodes per weekday, and it needs to go down to 4. Also, I'm kind of low on kids games anyway, so I'm just gonna merge all of that. Red Phoenix says, "I promise to give you $1,000 if I become a millionaire." That may be legally binding if you say stuff like that, but I won't hold you to it. And then he says, "And how do you send? How much do you spend on games?" I think is his questions. Here's how much I spend on games. On average, every summer on a Steam sale, I spend around $300 on games, which is not really too off of what an average person might spend if they're buying a $60 game when it's brand new every 2 months. 60 times 6 months would be $360 a year. On top of that, I spend what is almost not worth even mentioning, somewhere between $4 and $10 on Humble Bundles, when there is a Humble Bundle that has a lot of games that I don't have in it, and I check the Humble Bundle each month. And that's kind of it. So right now, that's how I'm doing it. But by doing it that way, I'm buying a lot of very cheap games on Steam and very old games on Steam and doing retrospectives. If I'm going to buy the brand new games, that's where the budget starts going up. I would estimate there's probably close to 16 brand new games that come out on an average year. 16 times 60 would be somewhere around, if I'm doing the math right, $960 a year. Yeah, I think that's it. Is there a Tavern Brawl? Yeah, I've already done the Tavern Brawl. Good. Alright, everybody on the US, send me one more friend request if they want to play me, and then otherwise I'm going to move over to the European account. So yeah, 960 would be a probably close to accurate budget of money to spend per year. Now, if I was making $1,000 in ad revenue or some other kind of revenue on YouTube every month, that would be alright. It wouldn't be great for a budget, but it would be okay. But it is a major increase. And all of the money I'm spending now is certainly not from money I'm earning from the channel. It's just money I'm getting donated to me, basically. Kevin Wu asks, do I have another job? No. I can barely handle doing this one job. And if I did get another job, I imagine it would take up all of my time, and that would just be the end of my channel. And it would be a very awkward thing to try to put out a video and explain that. Like, I probably would get over ambitious again, knowing myself, and still try to do the Hearthstone live stream, and maybe not do the pre-recorded stuff since they're not really getting any views at all. Kevin Wu sent the same message twice. Says, "Oops, sorry, didn't mean to send that again." It's fine. If anything, it just helps my channel. Every message per minute tells YouTube that my videos are worth watching. Did you do bad in school? Why don't you have another job? Did I do bad in school? That's an interesting question. Did I do bad in school? Well, the teacher said I was bad a lot in school. I got in trouble a lot in school. I didn't do my homework a lot in school. But I knew what they were talking about, and I was practically a genius, and if I can toot my own horn there. What the issue is I probably could get a job, but it would definitely underutilize me and underpay me. Part of that is because in the United States, they require you to have an incredible amount of experience, an incredible amount of certifications and degrees and like masters, bachelors, PhDs and things. And they want you to be under this crippling debt from college. I went to college for a short period, and they were teaching me in the 101 classes things that I learned long ago and already knew. So it was very frustrating trying to go through a class that I had already knew everything in, and it just wasn't a very good learning experience because I wasn't learning anything new, and I was paying a very hefty privilege for that. And then also, they're very broad educational things where you're learning things like math, history, and English and all of that. And so there was a lot of things I just didn't care about. And so I really wasn't in the mood to stay in college and gather a bunch of debt. And so I ran the calculation in my head and said, you know what, this isn't worth it. It's not worth taking on that debt. And over the years, I have, in my opinion, been proven very right in the United States, because the people who were in very similar situations to me and did go through college and did get bachelor's degrees or more are actually in worse positions financially than what I'm in. I did something very weird that probably wouldn't have worked for most people, but most people in the United States, just to very overgeneralize, are in horrible, crippling debt, and they're in terrible, low-pay, minimum wage jobs. Unlike Europe, there's very little union support in the United States, and there's very little social help programs, and very little, and our education in the United States is not great, and employment's just terrible in general. So that's one problem. The other problem is people just aren't hiring. We're moving away from a world that needs workers. Everything's going to automation, and so instead of being programmed, I was going to be a computer programmer. That's what I wanted. I wanted to actually be a video game programmer, and instead of getting a job like that or something in IT, which I'm very suited and qualified for, I would be working in a grocery store or a fast food place or something like that. And that's the kind of jobs that are hiring where I live. And it's not particularly even worth the gas you put in your car and the effort you have to spend to wake yourself up and get there, particularly if you're suffering from insomnia. So it just wasn't worth it. And then I was in a weird position where I have a disabled family member that kind of needs me to be around and watch them. And so everything just kind of lined up where people said, you know what, just stay home and take care of them and don't try to do a job. I've had multiple jobs. None of them have felt great because they were always these underqualified jobs. There was also a scenario where I didn't start working. My parents didn't really ask me to start working when I was 14 or 16. Well, 16 is probably the right time that you should start working somewhere. So I was probably 18 before I had my first job, if not older. And that doesn't look good on the resume. When you have these, when you have a gap at the beginning of your resume, that's not very helpful to get a job. When you have gaps in between your resume, which I certainly do now, people immediately assume you were in prison during those times, which is a really stupid thing to assume, but that's how employers think, is if you cannot account for every single month being consistently employed, they just find a reason to throw you out. And so many people in the United States are trying to get jobs that it's so easy to throw people out for stupid reasons. And so companies aren't willing to give people chances. Companies aren't willing to give people businesses fair pay. There aren't that many jobs. Ideally, the United States needs to just adopt a universal basic income, which other countries are also experimenting with, and get away from the mentality that a good citizen is a working citizen and you only deserve to survive because you are working for some corporation. We need to, as a government, say, look, we want our citizens to be alive because they're human beings and they deserve to be alive, and we don't care whether corporations want to pay people extra money to do extra work. Eventually all the jobs are going to go away. So that's a really long explanation, I suppose, on why I don't have another job. There's no way, though, knowing how I suffer from insomnia and just how much energy I can expend in a day, there's no way I would run both. So if I did have to get another job, that's it for this channel. I probably wouldn't make any more videos. I probably wouldn't even make a video telling people I wasn't making any more videos. So it's one or the other. And right now I'm focusing on this. And I feel like this, as long as YouTube doesn't just delete my channel, will be something that is a long-lasting testament to doing something more interesting to me and better. To finish up here on the chat, I was working a fast food place. Now I have a real job, kind of. And ideally, good for you. Hopefully it works out. One of the things that I also have learned after working many jobs is I stayed in jobs that were very frustrating and bad environments, bad for my mental health, bad for my physical health, just not treating me right, not treating any of the employees right. I stayed in them out of a fear of being unemployed, and that didn't work well. Like, I should have quit a lot of the jobs I had at the first sight of trouble. Like, there was one job I took where people were warning me that it was a bad job before I even started working there. And I should have taken those warnings and just been like, oh, well, I'm not even going to bother to show up. Because they were right. And then Kevin Wu says, going to bed, good night. And Kevin Wu says, good luck in the future. Thank you, Kevin Wu. So I was kind of responding to his question in probably, and he had already gone to bed, but that's fine. Well, that's where I'm going to wrap up here. I know my life experiences are slightly interesting, and they are definitely different. That's what the intro on my channel with the path less traveled means to me, and why I chose that poem for that intro video is because I chose to do something I wanted to do, even if it wasn't going to immediately pay, instead of doing what most people do, which is just kind of beg for a job and get money and struggle under debt, which doesn't appeal to me. That's it for this recording. Stay tuned if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.